Lynn Liu has accomplished a great deal since immigrating to Canada in 2002. She earned a master's degree in piano performance at Brandon University. She founded her own music school in Vancouver for a while. Lynn was also the principal and music director at the Tom Lee Music Academy. But Lynn is probably best known in Vancouver as the founder and president of the Vancouver International Music Festival Committee. This year, it was held at the VSO School of Music with 10 artists in residence. She's come a long way from her childhood in Wuxi in southern Jiangsu province in China, and today she's here to talk about this journey. Thanks for being here, Lynn.
Hi everyone, thank you for inviting me.
Let's start at the beginning. Many people in Canada have not heard of Wuxi. What would you like people to know about this city?
Well, I would say Wuxi is a very nice city in the east-south part of the China, which is if you are more familiar with Shanghai or Suzhou, Wuxi is a very nearby city. It's a neighborhood city from these two cities. And it was famous by a lot of things. For example, the natural scenario, natural scenes, the Thai lake, and also the food, the lake's food, fishes, shrimp, and also traditional, very famous one is pork rib. It's like traditional food from that part. And the dialect of the Wuxi is more similar to Shanghai and Suzhou, so more southern part. As you know, there's many dialogues, so each city will have a little bit different accents and different tone. So it will be a very nice city, not that modern as Shanghai, but very quieter and small size city with beautiful natural scene like mountain, lakes. So it's a beautiful city.
I had to give you a chance to put in an advertisement for your hometown. So now I'll
It's
get to the
easy enough.
music. Um, how did you first get involved in music?
Wow, since I was a child, I would say 6 years old, 7 year old, I was first um, have a contact with music by dancing. So I was a dancer before since I was a child. And after a few years of dancing in like a community center with classes and performances, then I started my piano study around age 10. That's not an early age for piano study. So I kind of start a little bit later. And I kind of feel like it and love all kinds of music I'm playing. And continuously in my middle school, high schools, then I decided to pursue this as my future degree pursue and also a career pursue.
And did you play any Chinese instruments when you were living in China?
Yes, I do. Because when I was studying my undergraduate bachelor degree, we do have a chance to choose our second instrument, which is pipa. Pipa is my second instrument, and I still have the pipa with me in Canada. I brought it over from my hometown.
And can you describe what you can do with a pipa, like the types of music you can make, or
Oh yeah, pipa
what type of instrument it is?
it's like a string instrument. It's more the shape of that would say more closer to guitar. If you think about guitar, guitar has six strings, but pipa has four strings. And then when you play, you are using, because we have to use some fake nails to be able to pluck the string and create a good sound, good tone. So it will be mostly by plucking or this way backwards to play the sound of the music. Pipa, something as more well-known Chinese instrument is guzheng, zheng. So
Yeah,
usually
the
pipa
guchang. Yeah.
and zheng will be do ensemble. It's a traditional like Chinese ensemble. So major instruments, I would say, if you are in a Chinese orchestra.
Well, we've got some great Jang players in Vancouver. So
Yeah, we do.
I'm I'm
Also musical
wondering,
too.
like, you've obviously been exposed to a lot of Western music and you've been exposed to a lot of Chinese music.
Mm.
How do the how does it differ in your mind or in your ears as you hear the music?
Oh, I would say. it's quite a different. It's quite different in terms of the keys, or the Western music mostly, especially classical music, is depends on the major minor keys. Of course, some contemporary songs they don't like have the 12 tones or something like that. But most of the Western music is based on major minor keys. But the Chinese music is mostly based on the five tone of the scale. So it sounds different. So that's why when people hear one certain music, they can tell, oh, that's kind of Chinese style. Yeah. So this is the major difference from
Hmm.
the key wide. Yeah. So and also the Chinese traditional ones are more has many ancient pieces from a long history. So it's just keep going, and people play it, not just in guzheng, pipa, also in Chinese flute, or there's another type of the yangqing. They call it yangqing. It's like a small drum to hit the strings. So those instruments also they can play same song sometime. They are like transferable to different Chinese instruments, but sometimes they have their unique own typical songs to play in the instrument. So I would say Chinese traditional music was very unique and characterized by their tones and the style, the melody, move. And they do have some quick songs or slow songs, if we put in that easier way, more happier songs or more a little bit sad songs, sounds like, depends on the key as well.
And it's a long way from Wuxi to Brandon, Manitoba. And I'm wondering what led you to make such a dramatic move in your life at a pretty young age.
Yeah. I think I have a lot of courage to make this step. Because since I was at my third year of undergraduate, I decided to open up my mind and wanted to see different world, I would say, to pursue some further study about the music. So I was looking at all the majors of different university, because at my time to go to United States was quite challenging, about visa application, etc. So at that time it's quite challenging. So I was thinking about Canada so as well. And in Canada, there's, I would say, not that many music schools to choose from, and different school has their different majors, different subjects to teach. So I did look at some of the music school, and I found that there's a unique program in Brandon University that might suit me well. It's related to music education for the master degree. So I decided to apply, and I was successfully accepted by the school. Although this a very the Brandon University is in a small town in Manitoba, but they are mainly built by the music school. So which means the music school is very strong in that area and in that city.
Well, I guess it's so cold. You have a lot of time to practice your music there. You won't be, it's not like Vancouver where you
Yeah.
go out and
Yeah, it's a very quiet city, and the only thing I did there when I did my graduate study is just home and school, two ways.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
directly.
what I'm like immigration is challenging for people, and for some, like it can be very difficult. And I'm wondering for you, what was the most challenging aspect of the immigration process?
For in Canada,
Yeah, like arriving in Canada. Like,
yeah. At the time when I wanted to do my study here, I haven't think too much about it because it's just a kind of tasting period and see if I like the country, like the city, and like the people here. After I been study more than 2.5 years of the graduate study in Brandon, then I found that I might also wanted to see different cities in Canada. So I actually moved to Toronto for a while, for less than a year, for a while after I graduate, and to see if there's opportunity for me there to work and living. And then later on, I moved to Vancouver I found Vancouver is something that I feel love, and I like the city, the weather, the people here, and all the environment. Especially they have very strong atmosphere about music education, so that I was able to accumulate my students going to teach quite quickly here. Yeah, so the
And
market here is quite demanding for that period.
as you look back now, you have the wisdom of more than 20 years in Canada. What advice would you give to young Lynn if you had the chance?
Uh, I won't say I'm quite happy actually about the route that I was chosen to come to Canada and to live in Vancouver. So I'm quite happy and satisfied with what the route I'm asking for. So I would say nothing that I will, regret or wanted to go there again, start over again. Actually, no, I'm quite satisfied. And especially the thing that I'm starting in Vancouver in my career, and I was feel quite how to say, so rewarding, I would say rewarding, and also feel satisfying of myself, and I feeling that I'm doing also contributing to this community, so to this city, as Chinese Canadian, as someone from outside of Canada. So I'm pretty proud of what I'm doing here.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask you about the piano teaching because I'm wondering what you feel we all think, when we're doing different types of work that we bring a certain expertise and we get meaning from it. I'm wondering what your special expertise is as a piano teacher and what you feel has made you so successful over the years in this area.
Mm-hmm. First of all, I do like kids. I like young kids. So I feel that um, I'm happy to sit down with them and tell them something that I know and share my experience. So because my major was in piano performance and pedagogy, so I was able to convey my knowledge and my experience to these younger kids and looking at these younger kids to grow. A lot of my students, since they were starting piano learning with me, they have been graduating from school, university already, and some of them become my assistant, become my tutoring for younger kids. So when I see that, like generation by generation, I feel it's a quite a meaningful job and quite a good career for me, as well as music is also something that and doesn't matter if they pursue as a career later or just as part-time hobby as their when they study in their major subjects. I feel music is always bring people, emotionally healing and also encouraging people, and also a world language between them to their friends. Maybe they speak different language, so it's something that they could use as a communication skill and feel on the same stage, feel their heart was touched. Yeah, so
And
that's
how would you describe your teaching style?
Oh, my teaching style actually, I'll adapting to different students because different students have their
Okay.
unique character. They have their unique ability to learn. So, and their unique goal for pursuing the study.
Well,
So
maybe that explains your success, your flexibility.
yeah, I don't know if it is success, but I'm on my way to seeking the success and on my way to always improving myself by getting experience, different experience. So basically, I won't say my teaching is just one method or two method. I will just adapting to different student and looking at their character and looking their pursue their goal of the study For example, some students may want to just do RCM examination. They wanted to get some certificates, and some students may just want to have fun by playing piano, by playing,
Mhm.
listen to different music. They just want to have fun. They don't want to pursue a certificate or a competition or festival. So different students have different way they can work with. So I'm quite flexible with all kinds of pursuing, even adult students, I do teach as well, not
And
just kids.
how did you get the idea to start the festival? Well, I know it started as a competition and all of that, but like what like this is a big deal, you know. It's
Yeah,
not a small activity,
exactly.
and to start something especially international. And I'm wondering what motivated you to do that.
Yeah. So looking back in 2017, because the competition was starting at that year. It's just quickly from just one I thought, because since I have been teaching in Vancouver for almost 8 years, I think, by 2017. So some of my students or some of my colleagues or my friends' students in the same area, I think they need some platform and need some opportunity to show some of the younger talents. And when I searching for different type of festival or competitions in the city, I didn't see any like really Vancouver international wise competition here. Then I will have the thought that why we don't just start one, since no one did it. And but this is just initial thought, and maybe from one night dream or something. I don't know. It just come out from my mind. Then I talked to different people around me in the music field, and also get some advices and listen to some of the professors, teachers, their opinion. Most of them, I would say 90% of them, were very passionate about the idea, and they like the idea, and they think this is a great opportunity for the whole city and also for those younger ones who are study music now. Um,
And so this year you had a festival with 10 artists in residence and a whole bunch of
Getting more,
events
I'm
and
putting more, I'm putting more contents into this
yeah,
event and
and
getting
really top performers, like musicians, and I'm wondering what were the highlights of this year's event for you?
Yeah, and definitely this year is also another stepstone, I would say, according to this events, because beyond the competition we had 3 times already in the past, but we are seeking more variety activity in the same event, but not that quite as competition. We want to bring more educational background. So competition is just for you to show your talent, but for the festival, if you can learn masterclass with these renowned artists, and if you can also give your opportunity to perform on a beautiful stage, and also have chance to look at these artists' performance and experience it. So that'll be a very well organized experience for the whole events and for the younger participants. I wanted to bring them more experience beyond the the talents they have. Yeah, and I always think that talents also need nutrition always, right? When they grow
Well,
and to be able to nurture themselves. So give them more opportunity. Of course, during organization, during the process of the events is quite challenging, I would say, because there's a lot of things you need to think about it, funding wise, venue and registration, website, marketing, a lot of things,
I can
on-site,
imagine.
on-site organization. Yeah, so a lot of things. I'm glad and feel gratitude to all my committee members and volunteers who would be able to help
Well,
this.
what I love about it too is it really represents Vancouver in that you bring together people from so many different cultures. Like you even had Indigenous music at the festival, and you have, classical music, and it's like all of Vancouver's in the festival. And to think, here you are, Wuxi
Sometimes I think
shows up in Vancouver,
I'm
and you're really giving back to the community, and I think that's wonderful. Um,
yeah,
and
sometimes
we're lucky to be able to amplify this and let people know about this.
yeah,
Um,
thank you so much for helping us promoting the event as well and let people know. And the multicultural background I wanted to bring to this festival is very crucial and important because it's matching with Canada's background too, which is very multicultural, and plus our indigenous culture. We wanted to promote them, and also we wanted to show their music to the world. So I think that's also including Chinese instruments, sometimes Indian instruments, and in the future African drummers. We also trying to
yeah,
bring.
and yeah, you had music from Zimbabwe this
Yeah, yeah,
time, and
yeah.
and
Right.
and it's like, and it also it speaks to, Canada is not a monolith in that we have so many cultures here, but also I think sometimes Canadians look upon China as a monolith when it's actually
Mhm.
made up of many provinces, many cuisines, different regional languages. And I'm wondering, you know, I asked you about Wuxi, but I'll ask you about Jiangsu and what stands out for you about that province of China and that part of China.
Uh, I think that part of China, the natural environment actually helps the place to nurture a lot of, um, I would say, scholars.
Yeah,
We
I've actually been told by someone else from Jiangsu that Jiangsu is where, and I don't want to offend the Chinese people who are not from Jiangsu, but
yeah,
all like it's a center of education.
yeah,
And
center of education. The people, the natural environment, it just give a lot of the cultural background is give a lot of opportunity and the the uh, the the initial how to say the initial environmental condition for nurturing these scholars or uh, musicians as well, artists. We have famous painters, drawing people from our um, province, and also the best scholar in the country in physics, in science field. They came from Jiangsu, and some leaders, some country leaders from
yeah,
Jiangsu as well. So
so with this kind of history and culture of scholarship, and arts, how do you think that has shaped you as a person?
mm, Um, I think it's all nurtured by my younger childhood, what I seeing, what I listening, and what I feeling from the parks, the lakes around me, and my teachers in the school, and my peers, my friends, classmates in the school, my parents, my relatives, they are all kind of through this growth and generations. Um, I think for myself, I really appreciate that I was born in Jiangsu, in Wuxi. Um, I was able to pursue my study in the capital city of Jiangsu, which is Nanjing. Nanjing is
Yeah.
the
Well, Nanjing is like
sixth
the
capital.
old capital of, Imperial China and even the nationalist
Yeah,
China. Yeah.
in the old Asian time and different
Yeah.
dynasties. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like the Ming Dynasty. Yeah.
yeah, so all of these nurtured me, but I think also my natural, I don't know if I put this way is correct, my natural ambitious
Hmm.
to lead me to go outside of my city and go outside of my country, which brings me different.
Well, this is my next question, Lynn, is
Yeah, okay. I
how
forgot
has Canada
internationally.
how has Canada shaped you? Because
Yeah,
you've spent like half your life in Jiangsu and half your life in Canada.
Yeah, so far I did already. So, yeah, I would say both is a valuable part of my life. When I was in Jiangsu, I finished my undergrad study and I spent more time with my Chinese friends and my Chinese relatives there. But in Canada, since I started on my own, it's also a different journey, more independent journey, I would say. And then, although my parents is with me now, they immigrated
Well,
somehow.
it's interesting because you also have a son, and
Yeah.
then you have your parents, and your son is probably totally Canadianized, and
Yes.
your
Yeah.
parents are still
Yeah. He was
Chinese, and
born.
then you're in between.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, in between. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes in the family, you can see different, logic thinking or between three of us. So,
Yeah, well, also the thinking and the values and everything else. It must be an interesting situation. And
yeah, yeah. I would say
now,
both different.
is there anything, I appreciate you've been very generous with your time. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the festival or your piano teaching or anything else, Lynn?
Oh, I'm okay with what I'm already tell. The festival, I think, is a significant event. I'm glad that I initiated it, and I wish this could be continued.
Maybe I'll just ask you what your plans are for the future. Do you have dreams of where it can go from here? Or
Yeah,
is it just so busy you just want to get through one and move on to the next?
yeah, definitely the competition is still going on and it's every 3 years. But festival, it might could be in between. So when the competition is not on, then we bring more educational experience for the younger kids. Maybe that's also a pathway for them to get ready for the competition of next time. So festival and competition is definitely the two major projects of the society.
Oh, I didn't realize you were thinking of the competition being in self-contained and then the festival being and with the education. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, yeah, that will be two different format of the events.
Well,
Mhm.
that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Lynn.
Oh, you're
Um,
welcome. I'm glad.
I've been speaking with Lynn Liu. She's the founder and president of the Vancouver International Festival. Sorry, the president of the Vancouver International Music Festival Committee.